What's up, everybody? I've spent over 1,000 hours building over 100 automations, and in this video, I'm going to be showing you the top 5 automations that I leverage within my sales development agency. So let's dive in. The very first automation that I'd like to show you is this right here, which is a notification for email replies within our Smart Lead account. Obviously, you are able to create a notification, like you could click Slack, webhook, and event type, email reply, lead category updated, and then simply send it over into your Slack channel or bring it over to make it super simple. But I've built mine like this to be very dynamic and fluid with the clients that I work with. And so we've got a notification for the agency. This is going to be coming into our Slack channel, letting us know that, hey, we've got a brand new email reply. But for the client side of things, we can notify them in Slack, we can notify them in Gmail, and I'm actually working on one other thing at the moment, which is going to allow us to notify clients inside WhatsApp. And the reason for this, right? The reason why we allow our clients to choose the notification platform is because I've noticed that when clients are in their native platform of choice, they act quicker, right? Because I've had people who wanted to communicate on email and then I've forced them to come on Slack and they just don't reply for like 2 days. I asked them what happened. They're like, I didn't see the notification. I'm like, what? That's weird. So instead, now what I do is I give the flexibility to my clients to choose whichever platform they want. So we've got Slack, email, WhatsApp. We can add more depending on what clients need, but these are the main three that I've had clients request for. And so this is what's allowing us to do that. Now we simply just need to add a WhatsApp module. From there, we've got a few things going on. We are adding all of the engaged leads into our ClickUp account. And so this looks for the tasks, this looks for the client. It maps the task with the client and then adds it into a ClickUp list. And this is what the ClickUp list looks like. It's basically a sales funnel that we can actively track. And so if we were to scroll down over here, these are all the leads that have replied to us inside Smart Lead that we've imported into our ClickUp account. And obviously, like we can click on the campaign URL. This is going to take us to um, the person's inbox, right? Where we can continue the conversation, all of that stuff. In addition to that, because these are inside ClickUp, we are able to track additional things. As you can see, we're tracking the meetings booked, meetings no showed, and some of these are no show, some of these are booked. We can use all of this data to actually create comprehensive analytics of our entire funnel. And so, closed and sequenced, I know what that looks like. I've also got meeting requests and all of the other sequences. And in fact, I actually put them in a timeline, right? So based on when they reply, we are able to track all of that information and create comprehensive analytics for that. So I have an analytics dashboard over here that goes into more details with regards to reporting, but this is just a brief example to show you what it looks like. And so as you can see, I've not done any outreach in a very, 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 very long time. But when I was doing outreach, I was getting all the way up to like 10 positive replies per day, an insane amount for a single agency. And so I've not even attempted to find new leads. If I need a new client, I just go back to these however many and I'm like, hey, I've got some availability now. Do you want to work together? And usually it's a yes. So that is the analytics, and that is the first automation. Highly, highly suggest any lead gen agency build something like this, as it's been awesome. And the next automation is right here, which is a campaign tracking uh, automation. And this looks complex, but it's not quite as complex because there's actually been scenarios where we split these things into smaller chunks. And so this section over here, it's leads not started. So we get notified for anytime our campaigns leads are not started are being too low. And then if we get campaigns with bounce rates over 4%, we also get notified for that, right? And so this is part of one of these automations. So lead not started, I actually have it. Oh, there it is. Low leads, it's just called low leads monitoring. So I release a bunch of automations for free. So this is afonto.com/automations. I've got a whole bunch of automations that are all free. You can literally copy and paste them, right? So if you wanted to get any of these, you could copy and paste them. So this is the one we were just talking about, high bounce and low leads monitoring. And I've opened it over here, right? And so if you analyze what this looks like, in fact, the one that you guys get for free is better than the one that I built for my own agency, because this is doing more things. It allows you to pause, it's checking for campaigns that have at least 300 prospects and doing all sorts of other really cool things. Mine is just basic, right? And so I gotta get better with this one. But as you can see, this is just a smaller component of this. And so as complex as this automation looks, it's not that complex, right? It's just taking a bunch of automations and gluing them together. And so that I've just shown you that section. The next section is the HubSpot section. What this does is it adds our campaigns into our HubSpot account. And so inside our HubSpot, we've got a campaign section. So campaigns, and when we click on the campaign section, we've got a bunch of campaigns, right? So for our clients, we can store the campaigns, and we've got a bunch of pages with a bunch of campaigns, and these are the IDs. And so what happens is whenever we add leads to our HubSpot account, they're assigned to a specific, probably worth showing you, probably worth showing you. Is it in the, yeah, it would be in the lists, right? And I've got Afonto, right? Let's do Afonto. So Afonto, as you can see, this is filtered by Afonto 1.3. It's also filtered by the client Afonto. And so if I wanted to filter this further, I can filter it by a specific campaign. So Afonto 1, right? And as you can see, we're going to get a different batch of contacts that were in a specific campaign. And so this allows us to easily track our smart lead contacts and any other contacts inside our HubSpot account. So as you can see, we've got 1,000 of them here. Cool. So that is that section of the automation. The next section is bringing in the analytics. And so using these automations, we are able to grab analytics. And so those analytics would then be sent into our campaign section. So if we go to the campaign section over here, this does tons of things. This is the task. This is analytics, timeline, table. All of these are doing different things. But just to give you an idea, before we proceed, the task section is basically we create a playbook, generate campaign copy, and add the campaign to our smart lead account from here. But what you were just looking at is not that. What you were just looking at is this analytics section. So we import all of the analytics from our smart lead account and we bring them into ClickUp for easy reporting and all that type of stuff. And same thing over here. We are just adding the tasks, creating subsequences on top of the tasks, and organizing it in the best way possible. But that's everything. The next thing here is bi-weekly client reports. And so this is what a client report might look like. It's like, hey, we've got our company banner over here. We have generated X amount of leads. And so for this particular client, we saw a positive reply, which quickly turned into a booked meeting on day one. And so this was written by me, but it was drafted by ChatGPT. And so if you analyze this automation right here, It analyzes all of the data. So all of the 14-day stats, those are all analyzed. It analyzes the all-time stats, and then it uses ChatGPT to basically create a draft of a message that we could send to our clients like this. And then from Slack, we are then able to modify the message and then also add a Loom link, which we then send over to the client. But here's the thing about this automation: it's great, it works, it does its thing, it's amazing, but it's not really. Slack is not really a task management system. I've noticed, right? It's more of a notification platform. And so if you want to get notified to notify your clients, that's great. But now I'm I'm upgrading this, and I'm actually not even remembering what the automation is called, but I've got the analytics coming here. So client comms. And so inside the client comms, we could do tons of different things that are not just the reporting. And so we have moved to the active status. We can record a video. We've got a subject line. We are live. We've got an email draft. We can put a Loom video over here. And then we can send it over to the client directly from our ClickUp account. And so the first step is to do send test email. So that sends the email to us, and then we send it over to the client. But we are able to actually make this like super dynamic so that we can send any sorts of emails and things like that. And so that's what I'm going to be morphing this into. I'm going to be morphing it into a ClickUp task so that it's easier to have delays, essentially. That's really the biggest thing, right? It's like when it's here, when it's in the Slack channel, and you get it delayed by one day, we're getting new notifications, and it creates a mess. So something like this is better. Next automation over here is sending campaign copy to smart lead. As I mentioned, we have a campaign setup process that looks something like this. And so we actually create the copy inside our ClickUp account for the same reason as I mentioned the Slack thing, right? It's just for better organization, better project management, doing all of those really cool things. It just operationalizes things seamlessly and makes it very easy to work with VAs in the future when we do so. And so we've got a bunch of things going on. Choose campaign playbook happens. Generate campaign copy uses AI to create campaign copy based on the client, and then we create spin tags using ChatGPT, and then add the campaign to Smart Lead. And so all of the settings are going to be set up. All of the schedules are going to be set up. All of the emails are going to be in our smart lead. So all we need to do at that point is simply add a lead list and click run. And by the way, what I was talking about, so we've got a company description, company value prop, company pain point. This is what we leverage to create emails rapidly using ChatGPT. And the last automation that I want to show you, man, I can't believe I saved this for the last, because this is the best automation in my opinion. This is probably like my favorite one if you had to ask me. It's the client onboarding automation. This one does so many things. It adds the client to our Smart Lead account, adds them to Stripe, finds the renewal date, sends them an invoice, finds the Slack channel, right? If the Slack channel doesn't exist, we create a Slack channel. We do the same stuff that we did previously, adding the client field into our HubSpot account. We do that for deals, and we do that for contacts. We also add ClickUp lists. And so if we were to go to our ClickUp account over here, we've got a bunch of lists. And so these lists are going to be pre-filtered lists based on our different clients, and they all come from the onboarding. We've got this just does so many things inside our Smart Lead account. It adds the webhooks, the categories, the folders, the subsequences, all this stuff, right? And then we also make changes to our Clay workflows, and then creating an onboarding doc. So I hope this was helpful. I hope this gave you some ideas of different things that you can build for your agency. If you have any questions, leave a comment. If you enjoyed this, leave a like, and I hope you're having a wonderful day. Cheers.